We got the song that you used to cry.
Oh, really? When you
heard.
When my parents were getting divorced?
Is the song?
Yeah, give us the setup. So you'd be in this awful car. Your mom would be driving you and your sister.
It was like an old big car. It would be me, my brother, and my sister. My brother was younger. He didn't know what was going on. And my sister was older.
How old were you?
I was probably
20?
like 6.
20.
I'm losing mommy.
I can't believe they're getting divorced. I was like 6 and she was like 8 or something, like 4th grade or whatever.
And your parents were going through a divorce, or you?
Yeah, he just I remember he just wouldn't come home,
Yeah, they try to keep it secret from the kids for a while, and then you realize, why isn't Dad home for like 2 weeks?
All right, but this business trip has lasted 3 months. All right, I'm on to you now.
Business trip, he refills the candy in vending machines. Right. That's what my father did. It's like, what, are they sending him out to Ohio, the Ohio branch of the vending machine? He's got to put M&Ms in a friggin' slot.
And real quick, though, but then when your parents were divorced, he would come over every 3 weeks and get everything in one visit. He'd yell at, he'd come in, he'd hit me. He'd lecture me, yell, sit me down, have a discussion, take us out to eat, give us money, and leave.
Every time?
It was like everything in one. But it was so shit, huh?
Never got that part. Always nice after they got divorced. Even before they got divorced, never mean to me or anything. Just psychological damage between him and my mother yelling at each other all the time. But it was when he would come over to pick up the kids, he just wouldn't stop his lifestyle that he was doing during the rest of the week. He would take us to the bar that he hung out at. He'd sit us down, get us Shirley Temples at a table, and go to the bar and hang out with his buddies, watch TV, drink his beer.
Yeah.
And then we'd all get into a car with a drunk, and he would weave us home. Well, with no seatbelts and the steel I-beam that was the dashboard of a Rambler that we could have just smashed into at any moment.
Well, he didn't use. My mother used to use us. Like my father would come every couple of weeks to see us, and I'd sit in the window waiting for him to arrive. Oh, here's Daddy's here.
Oh, you'd wait in the window.
I'd wait in the window, and then my father come walking. Daddy's here, and then my mother would have detectives hiding and jump out and handcuff him and arrest him.
Oh, that's healthy for the kids.
We're in the window. Hey, all happy Daddy's here, and now he's being taken away in handcuffs. So, who is more screwed up? Your mom? I remember she went to these lengths to set my father up. Yeah. He lived in New York, and we were in Jersey.
That is great.
She goes, you're going to go see your dad. We'll take you into New York. So we would take the bus, go all the way from Jersey by bus to New York with my mother. We get to the Port Authority. He'd meet us there, and the cops would arrest him. It was a whole day excursion so she could set up my dad with us.
And he must have did some horrific things to your mom.
Wow.
You're thinking, who's the worst?
Yeah.
Him for not paying child support or her for using us?
With that.
Well, now you can visit him in a jail cell.
I stepped out.
Yeah.
Take care of what I had to take care of.
Sure.
I come back, and these two are just telling horrific stories of, divorced, divorce stories, basically.
It was divorce war stories again. I mean, things just pop up. When you talk about this, things you completely suppressed just pop out of nowhere. So I remembered when my parents were divorced, I'd asked my mother, like, oh, well, you weren't happy, obviously, at the end, but why'd you stay married so long? And she goes, well, it was for the sake of you guys and stuff. We didn't want to, like, thanks, don't do us any favors. So instead of, maybe 5 years of hearing the yelling and screaming, we had to go through like 10 or 12 of the yelling and screaming. And then she winds up, after they're divorced, she winds up hooking up with this guy. His name was Dennis. Dennis.
Sounds like a douche.
And my mother just went like wild, I think Dennis was 20 or something like that. Yeah. Dennis was like 20.
He was wearing your clothes.
Yeah, exactly. And no, I was like early teen, I guess, maybe somewhere around there. Maybe not even. Maybe I was like 12 or something. And I used to build models, so I was building the Visible V8. This thing was cool. It was a V8 engine that was made of clear plastic, and you put the pistons in and stuff, and the spark plugs lit up when it went around, and the starter motor was the motor that made the whole engine spin. You could see the works, how an internal combustion engine works. Valves moved. but I screwed something up, and one of the pistons was binding in the cylinder because I didn't put it in the right cylinder. And Dennis comes passing by, and all he ever did was criticize anything I did.
Because he wanted you out of the picture. He just wanted to bang.
Of course. He's 20. He doesn't want to be a father to 3 kids.
He just want to bang your mom.
There were 3 kids. My brother's like old enough where he's banging and smoking pot and just, you know, that my sister needs some kind of guidance that he's not going to give. I'm like this nervous wreck just trying to build a model, and he comes walking by and sees that I did something wrong, and he goes, all you do is screw things up. It wasn't even like, hey, you know, do you need help over there? Let me see. Oh, yeah, this piston has to go in this cylinder because the crankshafting is binding on there. He just looks and gives like a pff, and he goes, all you do is screw things up.
And how old were you?
I was like 12.
He's basically saying, don't ever second guess why your dad left.
Yeah,
Look at this model.
That was
right
pretty
here.
much the reinforcing of that.
Yes.
He was trying to get you to run away.
Yeah, run away, maybe get hit by a truck, never come back, so he could have sex with my mother in peace.
My mother would take us, put us in the car, and instead to take us to my grandmother on my father's side. We're all sitting there, 3 of us, my sister, me, and my brother, right? Just 3 little messes in horrible clothes, right? She'd always bring us with ripped clothes to show everybody we didn't have money, right? And I think she ripped some before we'd even leave the house. She takes us to my grandmother's front door at her apartment, rings the bell, and goes, I can't handle them. I don't want them. You take them. Right? Right? And you're sitting there, you're going, this is abandonment.
It's complete abandonment.
I mean, you're like a little 7-year-old kid. Look, Daddy already left. Okay, so you don't think he wants you. Then your mother completely verbally says in front of you, I don't want him. I can't. So she can go out and drink and get laid or whatever. Anybody now.
So at least you know why you were like snorting crank back in the day.
Well, yeah, anybody would call him now, would go, call them on, the grandparent go, hey, can you watch the kids for tonight?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to drop them. Hey, you're going to go to grandma's house.
Dump them off.
Not open their car doors, you're going around a turn.
It's still moving,
yeah. All right, get out. All right. It was horrible what they would put you through.
Complete abandonment.
And then one time we used to pick on this kid where I lived. We pick on the kid, right? And then the mother was yelling at me, and my mother went over to yell at her, and that mother and the daughter beat up my mother, and I sat there, I was cracking up, right? Because finally they're beating up my mother on the front door, and they whipped my mom's
Felt like some retribution.
Yeah, I'm going, well, you know, hey, don't stick your nose in.
But now you used to drive around in the car with your sister and your mom, and this song would play.
Oh yeah, the song.
I want to hear the song.
All right, yeah.
So this song would play, and divorce. You know, you're newly divorced and stuff, and you would get very upset.
Upset, we'd be bawling.
I used to not be able to watch any shows that mentioned. I'd get like all embarrassed if a show came on, like an after-school special, and it was about divorce.
Yeah,
I couldn't like sit there and watch it. I couldn't look at anybody because I was like so ashamed that my parents were divorced.
All my cousins had real families, and they would go, "Richard's coming over. You know, be extra nice,
you know,
to
from the broken home.
Yeah. It's just like
the broken home.
Be nice to him. Give him something out of your junk drawer,
which had a disease or something, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, Richard,
something out of your junk drawer.
The one mother who they were rich would give me clothes to go. Hey, you want some of Michael's old clothes? You know. Meanwhile, her son is touching me in the bedroom. You know, we're playing little whatever.
That is
play the song.
That is absolutely why we're in the position we're in now, too.
Thanks. Yeah.
That's why we couldn't hold down real jobs. We couldn't. We had to end up in some kind of comedy friggin' job.